I can hear your music.
So, I was looking at the green bar, but nothing was happening there.
So Eminem.
Oh,
Good
nice
thing that
to
wasn't
meet
at an inappropriate part in the song.
you. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I could hear it. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I like Eminem, so it's fine.
Wow,
If that
you
was
have found
Justin
me.
Bieber, we would have had a problem.
Yeah, today I tried in a hangout. People were waiting for me to choose a music, and I chose Justin Bieber's Baby Song, and everybody freaked out.
Good choice. Hi, Lena.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
how are you? Fine, fine. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And to everyone who's watching, this is an intermediate speaking class. And today we're talking about surveillance and privacy. So come on in and hang out with us. We're going to talk. I gave you the link to the document, but you know how to access it from Verbling. So I just have to exit something. Okay. First question. Where do you usually see surveillance cameras? Think of a few places where you usually are videotaped or where there's usually cameras. In your house? You're looking around like there might be one here, I don't know.
In some places, they're using fake cameras to scare off thieves.
Mm-hmm. Like where?
Everywhere, because they're cheap, just $20 you can buy one of them, and they have one blinking red button like it's air, even though it's not.
So do you think that it's most of the time the cameras are actually fake?
No, I'm not saying that, but okay, I will answer your questions first. Going on another topic, like in supermarkets or government buildings, any kind of places that are keeping something precious or important.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I see a surveillance camera, I usually turn to it and make a silly face.
Me too. Or like the big mirrors, you know, the round mirror
Oh
thing.
yeah.
I'm always like, whoa! Trying to do things in the mirror because it makes your head big and it's all, yeah, kind of silly. Hi, Benoit.
Hi,
How are you?
fine, fine, thank you. It's the first time I take a listen on Verbling.
Yeah, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, yes,
Have you
cool.
taken other lessons before with other teachers?
No, no, it's the first time.
This is your first class?
Yeah,
Woo, that's so exciting.
yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from France, Paris.
Oh, cool. I live in Paris.
Ah, okay, cool.
What part
Yeah.
of Paris are you in?
I'm in Boulogne. I don't know if you know Boulogne.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah, okay. And
Cool.
you, where you're from? In Paris?
I'm in the 13th.
Sorry?
In the 13th. In the
Okay,
13th.
fine.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Um, small world, right?
Yeah,
But
small.
I'm from Canada. I'm from Canada.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I don't know Canada, but it's okay. That's cool.
Cool.
So in my English, I don't know the level of this lessons, but my English is not very good.
It sounds like it's perfectly
Ah,
awesome.
no, no, no.
It's an intermediate lesson, so
Okay.
if you can understand what I'm saying, then
Yeah, I
you're
understand. Okay.
perfect.
Cool.
Okay, Cool. And the 13th neighborhood. Yeah, Paris is broken up into districts. Okay. I don't know if
Yeah,
you know.
I
And
don't know,
I'm
but
in 13th
I
down
yeah,
here.
I watched a movie about it. People were
Oh,
killing each
okay.
other in 13 neighborhood
I
in
see.
Paris.
I'm in that area because that's where the schools are that I'm working at. So I found an apartment nearby. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool story.
Yeah. What school do you study in a, you know,
I'm not studying, I'm teaching.
what school you teaching? Sorry.
I'm teaching, actually, there's a lot of different schools kind of
Okay,
all over. I just go to different classes, so there's not really one, just a bunch.
okay, fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
cool.
cool.
Hi Alberto.
Hi,
How are you?
fine. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
And who else is here? Is it
Sorry?
Huang? Huyen?
When, yes.
Huyen? Oh, it's Huyen. Your name's
Yeah,
different. It's like
exactly.
I've never. So why did you make a new account?
No, actually, I have two emails
Ah,
and
okay.
I accidentally, yeah,
Oh, okay.
did this.
Cool. You threw me off there for a second, and it's not your picture, but it's your voice. It's like, whoa, Twilight
Yeah,
Zone.
it's me here for smiling.
Okay,
Look at
cool.
the chat.
Oh, okay.
It's still
You're
me.
still superstar. Okay. Cool. Who's here? Hi, Roman.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Cool. Nice to see you here.
Yeah.
And hi, Rogerio. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Nice to be here with you and Olaf.
Nice to see
I'm
you.
from
Where are you?
Brazil.
Brazil. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Lots of
yeah, I
people
live
from
in São
lots of
Paulo.
places today. Awesome. The chat has changed. What's different?
Can't you see the difference?
No.
Check out
It's,
a speaker.
Wow.
it's
Wow.
white. Oh, okay.
It used to be very small.
Look, the
Is it
place
bigger?
that we type is bigger. The design has changed.
Oh, I'm zoomed. Ah, okay, I can see it.
I'm
It's because of
surprising
my.
that you noticed after I said it.
It looked like Rogerio was doing like a dance for us.
Sorry?
Okay. I said I thought you were dancing, but you were just getting changed. All right, cool. Hi, everyone. Oh, hi, Jose.
Oh,
Nice to see you.
hello, nice to see you. Hello, thank you.
And who else is here? Hi, Mary. Hi, Dreamas.
Hi, teacher.
Hello, hello. Hello, everybody outside as well. So today we're talking about surveillance and privacy. That's our topic for today. So I already asked one question when we first started. Okay, that's a good place to start. What does that mean? What is surveillance?
Ooh.
Can anyone tell me what the word
Observing.
means?
Yeah,
Like when somebody is watching you
Yep.
yeah.
or monitor you.
Watching you, monitoring you. So usually when we talk about surveillance, we're often talking about video surveillance. So where there's like video cameras watching what you're doing. We can also, yeah, we call them bugs. Like when, in the movies, they'll like plant a bug in
Yeah.
someone's house. Or like the teddy cams, those creepy the teddy bears with the video camera in them. Or, yeah, those are all types of surveillance. Also, we can talk about surveillance on the internet and privacy, like Facebook, for example. There's lots of privacy issues with Facebook. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, first question was, where do you usually see surveillance cameras? So can we brainstorm some places where we're usually under surveillance? The expression.
At airports.
Airports.
Where I work, there are cameras.
Airports.
Okay. Where you working?
Supermarket.
Yeah, I used to
Yep.
work in place.
On the street.
On the street.
At the university.
At university. Mhm.
At the bank.
Bank.
Outside the
Offices.
house. We usually
Yes.
have cameras as well.
Subways.
Well, is there any place left?
Yeah, frickin' saying maybe it would be easier to count the places without video cameras. So
I have a question.
yeah.
Where actually we have like channels on TV, right? So we have a place where they put cameras there and they record. You know, programs. So what do you call it? Studio or something?
Mm-hmm. Where people are recording and then it's going to TV?
Yes. It's like a head office of a channel.
Oh,
of a TV
okay.
channel.
Yeah.
So
So
what
you're
do you
thinking
call it?
of like the rooms where all of the TVs are there,
Yeah.
like the surveillance room. That's what we would call it.
I think we have to keep in mind where there are no cameras in these days. Yeah.
Okay, let's think of a place where there are no cameras.
Where there are no cameras.
Hopefully
If you go
your room has a
outside, there are
camera.
satellites.
In the bathroom.
Bathrooms, hopefully, right?
Probably.
Toilets.
If you didn't bring any computer or telephone.
Panic rooms, yeah. Okay.
But
So
Samantha, do you know how we call it?
that room?
No, I was talking about like the thing that I was talking about.
So you're talking
Like where
about like,
where
let me show
where
you.
a lot of how can I say, a lot of anchors.
Are you thinking
Word.
of like this?
Camera.
Newsroom?
No, I'm not talking about a room. I'm talking about the whole thing. So where they produce TV programs.
Oh, the whole building?
Yeah.
I don't know what you would call the building. Let me. Like a studio?
They call
Yeah, maybe.
background newsroom.
Maybe you don't have the word for it.
Newsrooms. I'm just trying to think if there's like a specific word for places where we record television shows, but I think you would just call it the studio. At a studio. Yeah. There might be another word, but I can't really think of anything that specific. Yeah. I know what you're saying now, though. I thought you meant you know what I thought you meant. The rooms with all the cameras where you can see everything. Yeah, I would just call it a studio. Or a newsroom if you're talking about recording.
It is in industrial supervision.
What about supervision?
Yes, there is camera, a lot of camera and for example, manufacture, and then that you can see all employee and the personnel who work in this manufacture.
Right. So how many people here work or have worked somewhere where they've been recorded with cameras?
Here.
Like I, for example, well, okay, here, yeah. I'm always being recorded now, but for example, when a restaurant that I used to work at, we had cameras everywhere, so I was always being recorded while I was working. Then I worked at a movie store called HMV, and we had no cameras, surprisingly. And we sold like game systems and all sorts of stuff. No cameras. So, have you guys ever worked somewhere where you've been recorded?
Not work, but I have a different story. In my school, there were security cameras in everywhere. One day, someone's telephone was stolen, so she went to the manager to find out who stole his phone. But as it turned out, they were not real cameras. They were all fake.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
In my secondary school, we also had cameras for exams, so
For exams?
you cannot cheat. Yeah.
Wow, really? I've never heard of that.
Like when you turn your head to that.
Ah, okay. So what would happen if you were like trying to cheat a little bit and they saw you?
I don't cheat.
No,
It's
well,
not
no.
a problem.
They broke your mind.
Like I've never had to worry about it. That's actually really interesting. I've never been recorded for an exam or anything like that. They always just have people walking around surveying, making sure that you're not cheating. Okay, so principal with an AL.
Teacher, there is a software that's called Satellite Live that supervise all human and all around the world.
Mm-hmm. There's computer software that does that?
Yes, yes.
Do you mean it's how does it work?
Is for example in the news who transmit the meteo he transmits the images from yes the weather he they transmit the weather from the software computer that's called satellite such as Google Earth. But this software is dynamic. You can see the human walk and it's a dynamic. Yes.
So I wanted to ask you guys another question about that. So thinking of the being recorded, does it make you feel more comfortable knowing that there are security cameras in certain areas, or how does it make you feel?
That security camera is following me, like whenever I move, it moves. Then I feel different, strange, and probably I would be caring about my behaviors and how I move or other things. But usually I don't care about what I do because there are a lot of people and probably they wouldn't be caring about me.
Okay.
I think it depends on situation, because when you have camera on your job place, it's quite annoying, I think, because I think nobody likes that employee know about their work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when with camera in public place or in traffic, for example, video registrator, it's quite safety because you can record any illegal things which do with you, and it can help you in court or somewhere.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it makes you feel a little bit safer because you know if something happened to you, then they'd be able to find out who it is, maybe?
Yes. In my country, where we don't have the proper judgment system, video registrator very helpful thing, because our police usually take bribes, a lot of bribes. And with type of video registrator, which we set on our cars, usually help us to avoid unfair fees or something like this.
Okay. Since we're kind of starting to go in this direction anyway, here's another thing to think about. So think of some extreme forms of surveillance that you've heard of or seen, and discuss them. So the first thing for me that comes to mind is airport security, prison, but I want you guys to try to think of either a certain situation or think of an extreme form of surveillance and tell us what you think about it. Prison?
Yeah, please.
Do you mean prison?
No.
No?
Prism. It's a
Don't
yeah.
you know that?
Hmm?
It's in the news.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Can you explain it? Just talk about it a little bit for us.
Okay. For example, there are, I guess, 9 biggest companies in the world about computers and internet, and NSA is, according to them, is following all of them and taking information from those websites. So whenever you do or whatever you do, they can track them from Facebook, Microsoft, or other things, and probably you cannot just leave them because they are the biggest. And I can't imagine internet without Google or Facebook or other things. And also, I don't know, but many websites is somehow connected to Virginia, which is the base of FBI and CIA. So if you do something really bad, they can easily find you, I guess.
Okay. Does
Yeah,
anyone have?
it's very common surveillance at casinos. You know, I always think in movies that people are trying to get money using different manners and unusual manners, and the people from casino securities, they have
For
to.
avoiding traps.
Sorry?
For avoiding traps.
Yeah, traps. Yes, exactly. And you know that movie from, the name is 12 mans in
Yeah.
you know, 12 mans with and they try to avoid the owner of the casino, you know, and
Ocean's
I was
11.
thinking,
Oh, Ocean's 11.
yes, Oceans, yes. Yeah, that's a good example. And
Yeah.
I imagine you working in Fort Knox in United States. Even inside the bathroom, maybe there are surveillance. I think
Yeah.
everywhere I go, I feel I am at surveillance.
Okay,
You
you
know?
always feel like you're being watched. That's how.
Yeah, always. It's not good.
Okay. The worst I've seen with a bathroom is a camera pointing towards the bathroom. I've never actually seen a camera in a bathroom yet. I don't know.
Me too, but you know, you never know.
No, I know. It's a little bit unnerving. Any other examples of extreme surveillance?
I think I have an example, but I've never seen this, but I've read it a lot on newspapers. That here, when parents want to know what their children are doing, so they are gonna hire a detective or a private one and watch their kids all the time, and then they're going to report everything.
Cam. Let me
Yeah,
show
cool.
you. I'm gonna show you.
Could we think that United States is at extremely surveillance because many news
Yeah, definitely.
are saying about this?
Oh.
I just
How
wanted
much
to
is that?
show you what I meant. What, Fergus? Fergus wants to
This is
buy
the
one.
police in disguise.
This is what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah, Teddy Camp, where they like. This one's very obvious that that's a camera.
Yeah, it's not. You can't think it's nose.
Yeah. But is that kind of what you mean, Hoyen? Parents will like hide cameras to watch their kids.
And
Even hire detective or someone to follow their children.
Yeah, that's a bit much, right?
okay, and I think
What does it mean? Bit much?
A bit much. A bit much. If I say that's a bit much,
A bit
I
much.
mean,
Okay,
like,
okay.
Do you understand?
Bit much.
Means like they're taking it too far. It's over the top is another way to say it. Yeah. Roman, were you going to add something?
yes, I would like to add some type of how it calls surveillance. Yes, when parents want to control their children, they can give them a small GPS sensor,
Ah,
for
okay.
example, to their back. It is their back, and parents all time can see where their children are.
Right. So it's not always video surveillance, right?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay. So
Actually,
adding like a GPS sensor to your kid's phone, right? What are some
Yeah.
other kinds of
you don't
surveillance?
have to do that because one time I tracked my father down. He
How?
was carrying his phone and he installed a program called Where is my phone, I guess.
Yep.
And yeah, I opened an internet site and typed his password because I know that. So I watched him on air, like I can see whatever he's doing, where he is right now. And I called him and I told him that you are right now in that position, and he was like, "Wow, how did you do that?"
That's creepy.
Yes, but I just returned from Canada and I was in Manitoba, and children who approximately 7, 8, or 9 years old uh, uh, don't use telephone at all. I don't know about other city, but I was in small city. It's called Morden, and children in this city usually don't use mobile phone at all. So GPS sensor is something like a small badge which you can add to back of children and for them.
Ah, okay. So they would put it into a child's bag instead, right?
Yes, yes.
Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. I think it depends on where you are. I've seen some pretty young children with cell phones, but 8 and 9, that's pretty young to have a phone. But I don't know. Um,
In my country, children have mobile cell phone from I think 6 years or
6?
in my country. Yes, yes, it's
Wow.
crazy, it's crazy. But in my country,
Even here.
very unsafety environment for children. So parents try to supply safety of their children. Something.
Wow.
To know where their children are. But on the other hand, it's not very good because children for young age don't want to study. They want just play games or watch films on their cell phone. So
Okay.
it's a controversial question.
Yeah. Can you guys think of any other types of surveillance? Like
By
putting,
agents.
sorry, forget?
By agents. For example, once I was visiting a minister's office in Turkey, and after I got into that building, I realized that 3 or 4 guys with suits were following me, and there was no way to get rid of them because it was a really high security place. Everywhere were covered with surveillance cameras and bugs or any kind of things, and I could feel the pressure in that place. And finally, I left the building.
Why would they be following you?
Well, because it's minister's office, and probably they thought maybe I would be a assailant.
Okay. I don't know why they would think that. Maybe you looked suspicious or something.
I don't know.
What were you doing? Were you carrying a weapon or okay. What about internet privacy? Do you guys feel like
I have a story.
Yeah, sure, Hoyen.
It's not a story, but yeah, it's something that is happening in the company. So my boss, she has created a Facebook account and she added all the employees. So whenever like every one of us go online or get into Facebook, she's gonna like know it.
Did you accept her friend request?
I didn't because
I wouldn't.
I don't really. Yeah, it's not a big deal as long as I finish my work.
Okay. So, so what do you think she's going to do with whatever information she collects?
I don't know. Maybe she just wants to know what we are thinking, and what we are doing.
What do you think about that? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's kind of weird?
I think it's okay because I like my boss actually.
Okay.
She's pretty cool.
So maybe she just wants to be friends with everybody and talk to them outside of work?
It always starts like that.
Do you guys think she might have some ulterior motives? I'm going to type that.
What is that?
I'm going to type it. Just want to make sure. Yeah. Ulterior motives. Like hidden. So if you have ulterior motives to do something, it means you have two kind of levels of intention. You have the level of intention that you're telling people. So that level would be like, I just want to be everybody's friend, right? And then there's your hidden agenda or your other intentions, your ulterior motives, which are like the real reasons why you're adding people that you're not telling anyone. Okay, so I'm not saying necessarily your boss is doing that, but that's what it means. So if I'm asking, do you think she has ulterior motives? I'm asking if you think that there's like something else going on that she's not telling you.
Actually, there's another way to block her. Like, you can add her as a friend, but in privacy settings, you can remove her. So she wouldn't be able to see anything about you, like block her from your photos, friend list, your posts.
Oh. How to do that? Like, how do you do it?
From settings. You should discover the...
setting, okay.
Yeah, that's possible. Does anyone else have a story about surveillance or privacy?
There's a movie about it. I put it in the chat box.
Hidden agenda.
About a hidden agenda.
Okay.
I think there are many cameras without recording. Yeah, it's too expensive to record all of the things, and then you put the camera, but it's off.
So they're like props.
Yeah, don't you think so?
Yeah.
If you know that there are cameras, you don't steal and you don't make things that are illegal, and you are quiet, but perhaps it doesn't record.
A fake camera. So they have lots of.
For traffic is done.
Yeah, definitely.
It's too expensive to put a camera controlling the traffic, the speed in the traffic. It goes thousands of euros, for example, and then they put the camera, but without recording.
So, do you think that those traffic cameras are fake usually?
Yeah, sure. In my city, there are 10 or 12 cameras, and only one is recording.
How do you know?
They change. Yeah, it's in the newspapers, but they changed the recording of the cameras. One day it's recording in a camera in a place, and the next day is changing to another camera, and so on. And you never know what camera is recording.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's much cheaper than paying for a camera that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear about each of your cities, actually. I'd like you guys to tell me, what is the surveillance like where you live?
Yeah, I
So,
told you. Oh,
where
sorry.
you live, are there cameras everywhere, or do you not really see any cameras? What's it like for you? Do you feel like your government is kind of watching you, or anyone to start?
Me.
Who's me? I can't see for some reason I can't see the green when people are talking.
Oh, it was Rodolfo. Or Rudolph.
Rodolfo. Okay. Tell us.
Yes, well, here in Mexico, I think there is almost any surveillance. Yes?
There's almost no surveillance?
No, just in some special buildings, in some schools, and in some banks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, almost all banks. But I used to live in a very small town that there were many crimes in it, and as there were no cameras, not anything, people used to take turns, and they had like a program that was Vigilant Neighbor. That they took turns, and they were like guards at night, and they used to whistle like, and that way, people knew if there were many whistles from many specific points, they knew that there were robbers near,
Oh, okay.
and they just started looking for them and locating them, and then they caught them, and they caught the robbers, and they took them to the police.
Okay, so
But
instead of cameras, they have people doing it?
yes,
Okay.
but
So police.
that's in small places,
Mm-hmm.
like in towns, like that. In big cities, no, there's no surveillance nor people doing that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll be back in just 1 second. My Hangout is not working, so I'll be right back. Just gonna refresh. 1 sec. There.
I can't hear
You
you.
can't hear me anyway.
Now I can. I can.
Feel like you can't stop talking.
I couldn't see
Stop
your
talking.
audio things, but now I can, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So that's in Mexico, Rodolfo?
Yes, but it depends on the neighborhood.
Ah,
For
okay.
example, there are other neighborhoods here where I live that are close to other people. You need an identification to access, and also they have a lot of cameras and guards patrolling them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, some neighborhoods have like a night watch team, right? There's
Yes.
guys walking around and, like what you said, whistling or warning people, and then kind of being like the vigilantes for the police. Do you guys know that word?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I know its meaning. They're alone. They're not connected to anything, but they do things that they believe in.
Yeah. Can you think of a vigilante in a movie or something? Batman. Spider-Man. They're vigilantes. Liam Neeson. So a vigilante, it's someone who undertakes or does police work without actually being a police officer. So they're taking matters into their own hands and trying to usually help situations. So in some small towns, you have that sort of thing, right, Rodolfo, where they're sort of playing that role. What's it like for other people? Maybe Jose?
Yes, yes.
What is it like for you in your city? Are there a lot of cameras? Do you feel watched? Do you feel safe?
Yes, they are in the street cameras. They are in a lot of cameras in the streets. I don't like in the street cameras. In other part of the shop, I like it the cameras.
So there are a lot of cameras in the street?
No, they aren't many cameras in the street.
Okay.
No, they are.
But do you feel safe where you live? Do you wish there was more surveillance?
Yes, the city where I live is quite safe. Sorry, it's quite
Okay.
safe. Yes.
Can anybody else tell us what it's like in their city before we go to another question? Okay. How about this?
Here in São Paulo, where I live,
Mm-hmm.
is one of the most largest city of the world. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, of course.
São Paulo is big, but government is not. They try, but they are not interested in survive to surveil people.
To survey.
To survey, yeah, thank you very much. To survey, because they have no much money to spend in this kind of system.
Okay.
But in town, yeah, in the center of São Paulo, there are some government surveillance system, and because there are a lot of public buildings, and the city hall is located there, and other important banks, and you know, as in Mexico, where there are money, there are surveillance. And
okay, so where there is money, there
is money. There is surveillance.
Surveillance.
Yeah, I took so much time to restart speaking English.
Don't worry, I'm just trying to help. Don't worry.
Thank you very much. But I can't see the chatting box in my Hangout. I just see people going in or going out, but I can't see.
Did you click on Verbling?
Yeah, I will fix it after
over here where it says Verbling, that blue V. Do you see
Yes, I can see.
You have to click that, it should open. Yeah, so play anywhere where there's money, there's usually cameras.
Yeah, and it's very common here in São Paulo and in Brazil at all. People contract, the citizen contract their security system, and it's very common. We establish or we build a guard box, and we pay monthly for a common guy. They just stay there and put they stay in a box in the pathway, in the sidewalk. It's not legal, but everyone do this. And the guy start to be part of our family, and we pay monthly everybody from that lives in that street. But when there are if a robber want to assault or undertake when we are arriving at home, they just go inside their box and try to call the police, because they have no guns, and in some place people give some walk-talks, and other neighbors more wealth, they contract a security company. Depends on how much money do you have.
That's interesting. So,
but I was think other question. I will stop. I promise you.
No, go ahead.
We are always thinking surveillance by cameras, but
Yeah.
there are other kinds of surveillance by that. I mean, dogs always are good surveillors, yeah, and other kinds of animals. They, you know,
Yeah.
they. If you go inside in the airport, and if you are carrying drugs,
Yeah,
dogs
you have
can
the drug
identify it.
dog, right?
Yeah.
K9.
Yeah. They sniff you. Has anybody ever been sniffed by one of those dogs? I have.
What?
I was what?
While you were smuggling what?
No, I wasn't. It was actually on the bus. I don't know if I told everybody, but I went on vacation around Europe a little bit for 2 weeks recently. And when my friend and I were going from Amsterdam to Berlin, our bus was stopped and they sniffed it. They brought a dog on the bus and were like smelling everyone. We all had to show them our passports. I was like, oh god. But I guess because you're coming out of
The problem is sniffing after biting.
Yeah. I was like, you can't smell a bus full of people leaving Amsterdam and expect not to smell anything on the whole bus, right? But it was a little bit nerve-wracking. I didn't have any drugs or anything, but it was still like, I don't like dogs smelling me.
Maybe food?
I think teacher in all country, for example, my country, the surveillance in the public, who the government has benefits. You cannot enter such as needle. There is a lot of camera, high technology of camera, but in the center of our public, who the government has not benefits. You can enter samurai or Kalashnikov. There is not problem, but the problem of surveillance, there is no democracy of surveillance. If you surveillance, there is a lot of camera that surveills diamond. It should be the same thing. A lot of camera that surveills human.
Right. Yeah. Just to give you guys a note, first of all, it's pronounced surveillance. Surveillance. Not surveillance, because that sounds like this. Like the word violence.
Yes. Surveillance.
Violent. So it's surveillance. And then the second thing is usually when we're using a verb form of it, we just use watch as the verb. Like people watching people, people being watched. We use that more than using like survey as the verb, or we don't say like the surveillors. We would just say the people who are watching, the watchers. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. There's lots of different types. Does anyone else have a story that they want to add?
Not my story, but I read this article from a website. I guess there was a website which people were doing really bad stuff in that website, in a forum. They were transferring some kind of videos with each other. Then FBI took control of that website and ran that website for 2 weeks to identify all of those people in that website. After that, they started arresting people. So people are thinking about, is it moral to let people do those stuffs? You know, they let people for 2 weeks, I guess. They had the right to do anything. Also, there's another example. Some people, I guess, hackers from Thailand or Malaysia hacked CIA's websites. After a month or maybe less than that, they got arrested in their own country by CIA officers.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the internet a little bit more. What do you think about that? Because whenever you're doing anything on any website, unless you're fancy and you've like hidden your IP address, um, there's usually a way to find out where you've been, what sites you've been on, what you've been downloading, what you've been doing. Do you guys ever think about this when you're on your computer? Is there anything that you don't want people to see? Like, do you ever download movies or?
Of course.
Of course. Does anyone else download movies? Music?
Yes.
Okay,
In my country, we usually it's very expensive to use legal production. So all our country use legal production, and I think vote law cannot do nothing with it because our government doesn't care about it. So it's common situation in my country. But you know, people can avoid it. For example, we can hide our IP or something like this. So
Yeah, you can.
or, for example, very easy way when you use your mobile phone, it's quite difficult for some system to identify you using your. If you go to internet by your phone, they usually doesn't find your IP. So.
Okay, so it's better to do. I was gonna say it's better to do illegal things on the internet from your phone. It's probably not good to do illegal things ever on the internet, right? But yeah, I know I have another story, a similar thing from what you said, Firkin. When I was in university, they sent out. We were using the ResNet. It was like our residence internet, and I downloaded a lot of things, and they sent me an email warning.
Oh.
Yeah, me and a couple other people on my floor. I guess when you hit a certain limit,
Yeah.
a certain level of downloads, the school would actually email you and warn you that they would have to report it to whoever and tell them that you've been illegally downloading things on their server. So, so that's another example of like university surveillance and internet surveillance. What about things like Facebook and privacy on Twitter and all that stuff? What do you think about that? Are you guys cautious with your information?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you? What could happen?
Well, for example, I usually don't use my real name or my real data and social and that kind of things for like
Okay.
Facebook, Twitter, because I know friends that have had problems with that kind of things,
Right.
and I don't. Yeah, because those kind of sites keep asking people for their real data and etc.
Mhm.
And I mean, I just don't want to give that to them.
Yeah.
It's
Have you guys noticed on Facebook just recently, I think the last week or so, they've been saying your profile isn't complete, and now I don't know if they're doing it for
Yeah.
everyone, but I keep getting pop-ups saying my profile isn't complete, and they're asking for more information from me. Like, you
Yeah.
haven't told us the year that you were born or this and that. So they're
phone
pushing
numbers.
to get information.
Yeah, according to many websites, I'm 70 years old.
You're 17 years old.
There's actually another thing. For example, if you do something on the web, like, for example, I was trying to find a good microphone on the web, so I shopped around and find something. Then after a few hours, I realized that all advertisements are trying to sell me a microphone, and they were all unrelated websites.
Trying to sell you a microphone.
Yeah. For example,
Why?
Google advertising, because probably they were tracking down my cookies, and after that, it's some kind of advertising technique, I guess. Google is sharing their data with other advertisement companies like Google AdSense or many other big companies.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you and then you feel like it's deja vu or something. Like all of a sudden, like I don't know. I have an example. Of course, I'm thinking of coffee. So pretend that you saw this new brand of coffee at the grocery store. So first you see this brand, you go home and you Google the brand to find out if people liked it. And then 2 days later, all of a sudden there's an advertisement for that brand in your Facebook ads, right? And then the next day there's all of a sudden a banner on this other website. And you're like, it's crazy. Everything is telling me to get this coffee. But really it's because Google sold your information, right? It's interesting. You haven't given it. Yeah, exactly, Rodolfo. Wait a minute. We don't have the PIN number for your bank account yet.
Yeah. Yes. But
Yeah.
yes.
What thought in
have a story or anything to add, Rogerio?
Yeah, I had a story when I start working in a communication agency here in São Paulo. The guy from Technology of Information, the guy from PCs, and he told me I would download what I want. So I just bought a new Nokia web phone, cell phone, and they gave me a free download music from the. I started download, and 2 weeks ago, 1 week after, I just have I just have not permission to access this software again, and the guy never told me, and I never asked him, and we just
and no one ever spoke of it again.
Yes, okay, no problem, I understood.
Right? That's funny.
But he told me I could download everything, but he never know how much downloader could I be.
Right.
You know?
He didn't know how big of a downloader you were.
How big a downloader can I see, or can I
would say he didn't know how big of a downloader I was, or how much I downloaded, or something. Yeah.
Download, but
good. Okay. We're almost out of time. Does anyone want to add maybe a last remark about surveillance, privacy, or a story?
I try to add something. I think it's doesn't matter to it doesn't cost to hide your name in the internet. Actually, I have never do it because if person want, he can find all your information. Yeah. It's not so difficult, and with person doesn't need to know your name. Mm-hmm. Because he can find you using some soft or another thing. So for me, it's not so important to hide your real name. On the other hand, when you show your real name, it makes you it avoid you to do illegal things. For example, cheat something, or I don't know. Do something bad in the internet.
Right.
So it's I think it shows you your real
your true colors.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Chihuahua. Okay, cool.
Okay, one more thing.
Call you like Chi-Chi or something. Okay, Fergan?
Okay. There are some websites that their content is for people who are over 18, and in those websites they're asking you to enter your real name.
Oh, yeah.
I never entered my real age, and there's no problem. And I have no idea why they're asking. Just tell people, are you 18 or not?
Yeah. I just scroll down and pick a year from long ago.
Once I chose 1800, and they kicked me out.
Oh. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm teaching the next 2 classes. First, we're going to do some pronunciation. So I'll listen, I'll write down some words and help you with your pronunciation. And then after that, we're practicing interview questions. Okay?
Thank you.
So come
See you.
Okay, see you.
See you. Thanks for coming.